Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Joshua and this is Rooftop. In today's workshop, we are going to be seeing how we can create, a painting on a tote bag. So now over here, I have a tote bag ready. Hold on, there you go. We've got a nice, lovely tote bag right here, which we will be painting on. So we're keeping the theme Indian. So let's see how do we start it. So also, for those of you who do not have a tote bag like this, you can do it on anything. And maybe it could be a jacket, it could be a shirt, maybe on your pant, or any sort of cloth material that you want to paint on. So let's see how we can start with it. Okay. So here I was just experimenting a little bit to draw a circle, since our painting will be circular. So what I'll do is I'll just show it to you again. So I took a canvas here, anything round that you have, and I just slid it inside of this. You can see this through 1 second. I'll just flip it over. Okay, so let me just place this correctly. Yeah, so that's what I did. I put my canvas where I wanted to paint, or in the area I wanted to paint. I hope that looks good enough. So now see, I'll just press it down from the corners or around this. You can see the circle that is just formed. There, like that. And then what I did was I took my pencil and just the edges, right? Voice crack. Just the edges over here. What I did was I held the cloth down, or the bag down. Not with too much pressure, because again the cloth can stretch, which can then deform your circle or the shape that you're trying to do. Like that. Now when I lift it up, you can see that there is a circle made, just like that. Okay, so that's how I started off with the circle. Now it doesn't have to be circular. I'm just doing a painting that would be circular. Anita, hello Anita, hope you're doing well. So now when I start with this, right, I'm using a canvas here, but you can use anything. And like I said, it doesn't have to be circular. It can maybe be square or anything. And when you paint, right, you will need to make sure that you put something below this, so the paint doesn't leak through from this side to the back side. We do not want that to happen. Is my voice audible? Okay, cool. Okay, so now we are going to be painting not what you saw in the intro page. We're going to be painting a pitchwai cow, and I really liked the style of painting and the composition and the colors that they have, so I will be doing that itself. Now we want this to have like a yellowish ring around it, but I won't draw another ring like this. I won't try to do that. Is this visible to everyone? I hope it's visible. I'll just darken this then. There, yeah. So I won't draw an outline like this, but maybe if you want, you could do it, because we'll have like a yellowish ring around this, like a border or a frame. Okay, and then let me just readjust this a little bit so I can see. What I will do is just mark out that area there. Okay, or you know what, I'll just do the entire ring itself. So I'll try to keep it equidistant from this line. So whatever gap I have here, I'll try to keep it as close as possible over there as well. If it doesn't seem equal, that is also okay. There's no issue as such. So did you know you can use any sort of rough surface to even sharpen your pencil? So if you just keep it at an angle, then keep going back and forth, your pencil or your graphite will eventually sharpen itself. Because that's what people used to do back in the olden days. They used to take some rough surface, maybe like a stone, or maybe, I don't know if they had sandpaper back then. But now I've seen people also like take sandpaper and they just rub the pencil like that, very vigorously, and the pencil sharpens, and it turns out really well as well. Well as well. I think I should start, rhyming every sentence with the next one that's about to come. But I feel like if I do that, with how bad it is, I think everyone's going to leave the stream. So I think I will save my reputation there. Okay, this part I can bring it inwards a little bit. Yeah, that looks good enough. It's a little bit shaky, but the cloth is also folding, so we'll keep that in mind. And now over here, what I will do is I will just very roughly mark where I want the head to be. So now remember, we need to center this correctly. So now I'm drawing it a little light. You probably can't see it, or maybe I think this you can see very faintly. But please bear with me. So I'll take this part here. Now I'm just very roughly marking out where I want this to be. And over here we'll have the neck, somewhere like that. This one also there. And then from here, like this. I will darken it, but let me just get the rough drawing down so that when I do darken it, it won't, it will look good enough to see, so that you don't have to see the rough lines that I do. Or when you paint, the rough lines will not, hinder the painting. Because what happens is, if you darken this too much also, like the way I did here, you would need to add many layers of paint just to cover this up. Like that. Then we can draw the hump. Okay. Now over here I will draw the nose. Now I'm drawing it a little darker so you can see it. Maybe a little bigger, that's a little too small. Like this. I hope this is visible to everyone. Okay. To those of you who don't know, I am painting on a tote bag. And if you want, you can do this on any sort of cloth material that is there. So it could be a shirt, your pant, whatever it may be. Okay, but what I will show you, or the main goal of this workshop, is not to show you how to paint this specific painting only. It is to show you what steps you can take when you want to maybe paint on a t-shirt of your own, or maybe on a jacket, or any sort of cloth material you may be interested in painting. Like that there. Okay. Now from here I will bring this part, and in this side I will draw a cute little flower. Now if you want the reference of this, in the description we have our WhatsApp group where we post all the references, and we even have like daily challenges, or maybe some, like recently we had, I wouldn't call it a competition, but we had asked the members to send a painting of their own, and any one person would win a shout out and their work would get displayed, and we did do exactly that. So wait, let me see if the link is there. Yeah, the link is there in the description, so you can have a look. Okay, am I visible? Cool. Now from here I'll draw the other horn. And one thing that I like about this style, right, is it looks very graceful. It looks very serene. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it's very calming to look at. Like that. Do you guys need me to zoom in or anything, or do you want like a full view of the entire tote bag? Because if you do need me to zoom in, I can just zoom into like this frame only, and this extra part won't be there. Just let me know what do you want me to do. You can just let me know in the comments, and I can adjust it accordingly. This will come to the outer part of the horn, and then this part will connect there. Now for the ear, has anyone tried doing this before? Maybe painting on a shirt or painting on a tote bag also? Or maybe someone might have done block printing, which I am trying to bring to this channel. But the thing with that is the material. So it's not a very common material you have at home. But if at all you are interested, you can get it. You can get the materials, but you might need to do some searching for it. But if at all you guys are interested in learning about block printing, or maybe different types of printing, it's not the computer type, it's very manual type printing, let me know and I will get that sorted out. Okay, I'll draw the eye first before I do anything else. Now the eye also, right, in these drawings, they are very human-like. So what that does, it sort of personifies whatever the subject is. Like in this case it's a cow, it sort of personifies it into looking like a person. Put the eye there and add a little bit of twinkle. Nice. Okay, so what do you guys think about the drawing so far? Is it looking good? I mean, there isn't much, but based on whatever you see. I'll give him a cute little smile there. Yeah, okay, see now you can start seeing, the rough line work that I had initially done, because what happens, right, is this bag is white and this table is white and it's really bright. So whenever you add anything mildly dark, maybe a light color on top of it, like this, it doesn't really get visible. So let me try an experiment. I'll just put all of this, I hope no paint leaks, around this and see whether it will get, a bit more visible. Could be a placebo. But otherwise, I mean, this could just be the camera. But otherwise, the colors around affect the colors within. So in terms of life lessons, your surroundings affect who you choose to become. Philosophy with Joshua. I could maybe even start talking about philosophy instead of doing a workshop. Is there anyone who is interested in, philosophy or anything like that? Maybe in reading novels or, something along this same line. Over here I can add the year. Now once I'm done with this drawing, right? Oh, it's turning out pretty well. So once I'm done with this drawing, I will try to lighten it up a little bit so that all this graphite or the pencil marks that are there, it doesn't change the color of the paint when I go over it. Okay, so from here, also if there's any type of workshop that you would like us to do, you can just drop a comment on what type of workshop you would like to see. Or maybe if you don't want to comment here, you can just join our group and let us know what type of workshop you would like to you would like us to create or do. This goes until right below this, until here. Like that. Now with this I have to be a little bit hard on the pencil, or I'll have to go over it a couple of times, otherwise the graphite won't really come onto the cloth. Or if you are confident in your drawing where you feel that you don't need to work with pencil, you can even use maybe like a charcoal pencil or a charcoal stick as well. So one second, I should be having charcoal with me. Yeah, so I'll just take a little bit of charcoal. So this is the same charcoal I used in my charcoal painting workshop. This is called willow charcoal. I'll just show it to you. This is what it looks like. Let's keep it in my hand. You can see how easily my finger gets dirty. So I'll show you just over here. But remember, that if you do use charcoal, you would need to dust it pretty thoroughly. So I'll just do one line. Okay, wait, you know what? There is, I'll show you the difference between the pencil and the charcoal. So I've drawn a line here very lightly for my reference. So this side I will do with pencil. I'll go over it one time. You can see how dark it's become, and then if I go over it 2-3 times, it will become that dark. But if I take charcoal and I go over it once like this, wow, look at how dark that becomes. But now the issue is when I paint, there's a lot of powder on top. You can see my hand. If I just do this, there. See, it's like powder. It's very soft. So you would need to do not dust it this way. This is only a last sort of resort. Okay. But now I won't be using charcoal, but if you want, you can use charcoal. Then over here, I mean, I hope you found that, a little informative. If you did, you can let me know. If you thought it was unnecessary, you can let me know. Like that. And then I'll have this here. I think that looks a little too straight. I'll widen this out a bit. Okay. And we'll have the drawing relatively simple. Just an oval like that. Bring this part down and then take it here. Same thing with this. We'll have a small budding lotus. Over here, I will add a peacock feather. I was going to say peacock leaf. Yeah. And then here, this will come about this high, so somewhere around here. Oh wow, I had drawn it exactly there earlier. Like that. And then we'll have a lotus somewhere around here. Like that. And then over here also, I will put a lotus. Then 1, 2, and 3 leaves here. There. Anything else? No, I think that should be okay. Now comes the fun part. Now we start with the painting. Okay, I'll just put my charcoal back in. I don't want it on the table right now. It'll take a little too much space. Oh my god, I was muted. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so I wasn't muted. I think I switched on the wrong mic. Alright. Okay, so now we can start with the painting. So I have my lovely colorful palette over here. I will paint this outer ring yellow in color. So I will take some white. I'm using acrylic paints, by the way. For those of you wondering, maybe I'll put it here. This is where I've put my white, and in that white I will put some yellow. I want it a little light yellow, so I won't be putting too much. Yellow is a pretty strong color. Now we mix and mix. You know what? I won't put this on the bag. I'll just do it at the side. Let me see how this comes. I think maybe a little more yellow I can put. It's a little too bright. I know this is taking a little bit, but okay, I am done. So I'll take a little bit of paint like this, and I will just see how well this turns out. That's looking good. So I haven't added much water into this because I want, but I'm trying to. Am I muted? No. Okay. So I'm trying to cover this up in one layer. I don't want to, add 2-3 layers to this. 2-3 layers meaning I don't want to paint over it 2-3 times. like that. So like I said, the pencil will very likely be visible. So when you are, painting this, try not making the pencil lines too dark. Thus it will be very difficult to, cover it up. Because if you do want to cover it up, you would need to paint over it, wait for it to dry, paint over it again, wait for it to dry, and then paint one last time, hopefully, and it gets covered. That. Let me try adding some water to this and see how smoothly you know, it spreads. So I added a little bit of water, which I am now mixing. I took water in my brush. I didn't pour water into this. Now let me see. It seems to be doing a bit better, but this cloth is absorbing quite a lot of, water. So as soon as you touch your brush down, it is absorbing all the paint. So before the paint can even spread, it is absorbing all of it. I'll try to be a little quicker here. And then for the smaller parts, I can just come back and do it again. This will just cover up the middle. And how many of you have tote bags at home? And how many of you are, gonna try painting on it? Now I can try, doing the outlines a little bit more properly or more carefully. See, even though this is covered, I will still go over it again so I can let it look a lot more solidified. Here as well. And like I said, just with the edges. Oh, hello Neha. How are you doing? Yes, it's a cow. It's a Pichwai cow. Thanks for the shout out. Yes, no worries. I really liked the time lapse that you that you sent in the group. I was expecting pictures, but I'm glad that you posted something different as well. Why is the red coming out? Okay, now over here. Oh, it's okay if you're traveling. What you can do, right, is you can try sketching if you're traveling by plane or even if you're traveling by train. You can try and you can keep like a small sketchbook with you and just a pencil. You don't need any paints or anything. And you can try sketching the people around you. That also is fun. I used to do that during my college days. When I used to catch the train, I used to have a sketchbook with me and I used to draw the people that I see, sitting around, maybe standing. It's a fun exercise. Okay, now I will do this area here. So for that, I will put some white. So let me show you. I have some white over here. Let me close this. Make sure you always close your paints after you take or after you remove how much paint you need. Otherwise, it can dry out and it will be an unnecessary loss. Now I'm using Phthalo turquoise. This color will take a little bit. So if you want to make this color, right, without having this color, you can mix blue, yellow and white and you can get this color. But you need to know the right proportions for it or the right ratio. So I'll just mix this very slowly. Since this is full, I need to be a little bit careful with it. Yeah, sure, no worries. Thank you for coming around. And if you do come back to watch the recordings, drop a comment on how you like the workshop. Because I know this is sort of like office timings. Let me see. Yeah, this is a nice color. This is looking much brighter than it actually is on camera. Why is it turning even lighter? I'll take a little bit of water. I'll just put it in here. Just make sure you mix your paint, thoroughly, so that it's a lot easier to spread it. See, like this. Let's take a little bit for the corner. Now, since this is cloth, and it's not the canvas cloth is very different. But this one absorbs a lot of paint, so it will remain wet for a much longer period of time. Whereas if you were to do this on a canvas, it would dry relatively quicker. First, I'll just cover the background where the outlines are. And if you see, look at how far I'm holding my brush. So whenever you try to paint a large area, always hold the brush from here, from the middle. Brush or pen, whichever, or pencil also, depending on whether you're drawing or painting. So I'll cover these large areas first. Now just be careful, just because you see a large area does not mean you need to paint in there. Sometimes you get so into it you won't realize you're painting the wrong side until you're done, or until you stop and have a look at it. You can maybe take a little bit more water. This is still too thick. It's not spreading around as smoothly as I want it to be. Now let me see. There you go, so much better. Here also, just the outline, like that. I'll take whatever extra paint is there and use that same paint to spread this around. Same thing here, and here also. Yeah. Not 1 second. I think my camera is a little overexposing it. It's not so. Yeah, I think that should be good enough for this stream. Okay. Sorry about that. Like this. Okay. Now we can go for this area here. Just try to push your bristles into the cloth so that areas, there'll be certain spots where your color hasn't gone through entirely, or the color hasn't reached. So for those areas, just keep, rubbing the brush. Same thing here. Now this will take a little bit of time, since the material we are painting on is a little bit different, and it takes a bit of time for the color to spread. Over here also. Like that. There you go. It's going to look a lot more put together. So I'll start off with just these outlines here. I think it's a little too late to say start off, but I will do these outlines over here. Same thing this side. And there you go, we're almost done with the background. I'll just fill in these small leftovers. I like to call them leftovers because whenever I paint, there are certain areas that just never get over. There's always something little remaining. So I like to call them leftovers because there's always something remaining. So we'll get done with these quote unquote leftovers. And now for the topping. Over here also, like I said, leftovers, there's always something or the other. There are some times where I am painting and I just start to get very annoyed with it. Because you're trying to finish a certain part, but it just never gets over. But on the flip side is when you do end up finishing the entire painting, that satisfaction you get, it's something else. See, there are always more and more leftovers. I thought this was the last part. I first thought this was the last part. Got done with that. I look at this here also, there's something left. Got done with this, now this here also. Okay, that should be it for the background, for the background color. One second. Okay, now over here we can do the green as well. So I'll take some yellow. Oh no, I actually have some yellow already here. I have some yellow here. So I will take some blue. This will be a different blue, not the same blue as I used here. Maybe that's a little too much blue. So I'll take a bit of yellow also. I'll mix it with this blue. You'll get a nice lovely green color. Okay, so have this green here. But before I paint it, I'll add some water to it, so that it's a lot more easier to spread. Okay, I will take this and I will cover this area here. Same thing with this part also. I will start to bring it downwards. Bring this part down. We can start to fill in these areas here. Like that. Same thing over here. We take a little bit more water. It's still a little too thick. This should be better. There you go, look at that, so much better. you can rotate your tote bag as well. That means you are almost getting to the end of this. It's starting to fall together. Here as well, and then here also. There. Anything else over here? I can add a little bit of green towards the outer portions. A little bit like that. Okay. Now I will take a little bit of yellow and with this green itself I will mix it into this yellow. Then we'll get a nice light green color. Let me remove some, it might be a little too much. We can take this down. Same thing here. You can pull it down like that. And this side also. Just flip this and then I can drag it down. Just like that. And this side also. So if you see, I'm using like one brush stroke and I'm very roughly pulling it down. This top area as well, I can add a little bit of light green there. Pull this part down, and then this area here also just like that. Anywhere else we may need to add this color at the bottom this side. Over there. You can see it's turning out pretty great. So once I'm done with this, I may or may not wear the tote bag and show you how it looks. Okay, now I can add a bit of the brown. Now this brown is a little, let me see, keep a bit of white. If in case you want to see how I'm mixing the color, I have a little bit of burnt sienna and I have white over here. I will take this white. Seems to be a little bit of green paint on my brush. Try to remove all of it. I'm using my tissue to, really clean this. Okay, I'll take a bit of some clean water, not too much. Then a little bit of brown. I'll mix it into this white. So for the brown, you can use burnt umber, you can use burnt sienna. I mixed a little bit of blue, a very small amount of blue in this so that it's not too bright or too light brownish. I want it to be slightly neutralized, slightly neutral. Neutralized sounds harsh. Okay, I will take this and I will put it down here just like that. Let me look at this color. I think this color looks a little better. So you can add a bit of yellow instead in your burnt sienna. like that. The same color. I'll take a little bit more yellow. I'll remix these colors. The same I can add over here. Just be a little careful when you know, do this part. Oh, sorry, my head is coming in the way. Okay, and then a little bit on this area as well. I'm trying really hard not to stick my head into the camera so that you can see the painting as well. A little bit here. Also. Okay, now I can work a little bit with the red color. I already have some red in my palette. I know it is dry, but it should still work. Or I can just take some red color. I'm using quite a lot of red the past few days. Right there. A little bit of red there and a little bit of red here. I know my head is blocking, but please hold on. Delete. Trying to get this line straight. Okay. Oh, there was this area also. Okay, I can come back to that. I will take some white. I know this is a little too dark, but trust the process. Where else can I add this over here? Let's see. Okay. Now I can lighten this one up a little bit more. I can add it over here for the ears. Nice. Okay. I'll take a much lighter color and I will start to blend this out. A little bit there, a little bit over here also. Okay. Okay, fine. Now I'll just finish this area here and then we can start with the outline. So for that part, what I will do is already have this brown color that I had initially used, but in this I will add a bit of yellow. So I'll take a little bit of yellow to the side, not too much. And I will take this and mix it in here. Like I said, it shouldn't be too yellowish also. It should be a little bit yellowish brown, which is similar to a golden color. Like that. And then the same thing with the bottom part. There you go, just like that. Take a little bit, and with the corner, I will paint the rest over here. Maybe I'll just take a smaller brush. It'll be much easier to. There you go. Too much water. there. Just like that. Okay, now 1 second. Okay guys, I'm back. So now we can start with the outline for the drawing. So I misplaced my marker, I just had to go and get it. So over here, now it's not necessary to limit yourself to just paints. You can use whatever medium you feel comfortable with. So over here for the outline, I would prefer going for a marker. 1 second. Yeah, over here I'd prefer using a marker so that you can have much finer outlines. Like this. Yeah, just like that. And then here also. And there. So for this you can use any fine tip marker. Fine tip meaning a thin tip or a small tip. Just like this. Let me see with another one. Okay, it might be a little difficult with this one since it's very absorbent. Hold on. So you can just make like a very small line, sorry, a very slow line. Now some areas might be a little wet, so then that can make it a little difficult to get the outline. Okay, this marker doesn't seem to be working, so I'll switch back to using the paints. So I'll take a little bit of black, just a tiny bit. Now black also is a very strong color. Now I will be using a fine brush for this. So I'll have this black, Now let me see. Okay, this might be a bit tricky. No, it seems to be working pretty fine. Let me just put a little bit of water in this. Now, I like to sit in very weird angles when I paint, so don't mind me. There you go. Just make sure your brush is not too full. Like that. And once we do these outlines, right, your artwork will really start to pop out. There, like that. I just need to be a little bit careful because when you paint, right, and especially on this surface, with fine lines I'm referring to, not like large paintings like this background and thing. It comes to giving out the outlines. This fabric can it will be a little stubborn and not absorb the cloth properly, absorb the paint properly. Sorry, not cloth. Too many materials. So you'll just have to be a little careful, or you might need to work a bit extra on those areas. Why isn't this coming? See, over here I have to make it a bit thick so that the paint really sits down onto the cloth. Let's see. Like that. Again, I seem to have missed a spot over here. So I'll just fill in this area. This side as well. Now over here, now, so you see over here how it is sort of spreading out or bleeding out. That is because the paint is still a little wet. So that can happen. So you just need to be a little careful when it comes to such things. Here as well. Now see this part also, it seems to be a little bit wet. So it will very likely make the paint bleed. Oh, okay, maybe not. So I think it just depends on how wet it is. If it is a little too wet, then it will make the paint bleed. But if it is, be just very slightly damp, then it can help the paint to, flow properly as well. Like that. Same thing. Oh, I put it in the wrong paint. Right there. Now you can see it bleeding a little bit, but that's okay. You can see that it's your style. Wait, for this area, let me try with the marker. Okay, so it seems to be working here. Okay, nice. So wherever the marker works, we can use the marker. Wherever it doesn't work, we can use the brush. Like that. Over here we can have the flower, the leaf, okay, so now over here it doesn't seem to be working. Let me check again. Yeah, so for the areas where it doesn't seem to be working, we can use the paintbrush. And just make sure you mix your paint properly, because it can tend to, you know, solidify. Okay, over here on the head, in this area, just like that. And then the nose also. Okay, so this part seems. What happened? Yeah. No, I'll try darkening this, because if I use my paintbrush, what can happen is it will bleed a little too much. Let me see, I'll just put a dot. Yeah, there you can see it bleeding. I'll try again. So you can think of this as a lesson. When your cloth is still wet, make sure you don't try to do any sort of outlines on it. Now let's have a look and see how it looks like. So I have my tote bag here. I'll just remove the canvas, keep it to the side. Oh, lovely. And this is what we've made. Is the lighting good? Okay, yeah, there you go. This is what we've made. So the final product. I'll hide my face so you can focus on the artwork. So if you've enjoyed, making this with me, and maybe you learned how to, maybe paint a t-shirt also, you can take the same knowledge, the same technique, and paint a t-shirt also with it, or any sort of cloth. Maybe you could paint a bag of yours. It doesn't have to be a tote bag. So if you've learned something, informative, please drop a like and subscribe to Rooftop. And we have one more workshop coming up again at 5:30 in the evening. So I hope you enjoyed this workshop, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.